everyone, welcome to Learning Impact. In today's lecture, we will discuss difference between role conflict and role strain. So let's start. What are the difference between role conflict and role strain? First, we have to look into definition. Role conflict refers to the conflicting expectation between different roles a person occupies. For example, individual have more than one role because of more than one status. Like for example, if a man who is a husband, who is a father and who is a policeman at a time. Now, as a father, he has to give a parental care to his children. As a husband, he has to earn money for family, and as a policeman, he has to control crimes. This leads to the role conflict because society expects the conflicting roles from him. Now he has resource which is the time, which is considered as a resource of human. This resource is required by all these roles. So how will he able to maintain the time to give equal time to his family, to his children, as well as equal time as to his job? So in this case, it leads to role conflict because he has many roles to perform. But in case of role strain, it refers to a stress and tension within a single role due to conflicting demands. In case of the role strain, there is only a single role, but within that single role, there are sub roles which are expected by society, and that's why it leads to a stress and tension. For example, a student whose single role which is expected from him to become a hard worker and successful student. Now, within this single role, there are sub roles, like he has to submit the assignments at time. Teacher expect him to give equal attendance while he is in a classroom. He has to respond to the questions, and he has also to take part in extracurricular activities. This leads to a role strain because in this case, as he has only one status, that's why he has only single role, but within that single role there are sub roles. That leads to the conflicting demands. He will not able to manage the time to give in case of all these roles which is associated with the single status. So it leads to a stress and tension. Now, what is the main difference between role conflict and role strain? In case of the role conflict, the number of status are many status that are associated to a role conflict. As we discussed, a man who is father, husband, and policeman, there are three different status. But in case of the role strain, only one status associated. As we discussed, a student, which is only the one status. But within that one status, the single role is also further classified into a sub roles, which leads to a pressure and stress and called role strain. Now, how can an individual resolve this issue? In case of the role conflict, an individual must require prioritization. For example, a woman who is a mother and also she is a working woman. So in that case, for example, he's at a time that her new baby has born. In that case, she has to take leave to give more time to her child, to her newborn baby. So in this case, it means that she has to prioritize what is more important for her at this time as compared to others. So this leads to the resolution of this role conflict. But in case of role strain, it requires balancing. For example, a student, he has to maintain the curriculum activities along with the extracurriculum activities. He has to maintain this time and energy. So this is the role strain resolution. Then types. In case of the role conflict, there are many types like inter-role conflict and intra-role conflict. Inter-role conflict, the conflict arises between different roles, and in case of the intra-role conflict, it is the conflict arises within the same role. And role strain, it occurs within a same role. Intra-role conflict and role strain, they are correlated to each other. Now, the other difference is the causes of the role conflict and role strain. Role conflict is caused by two competing roles. As we discussed, a mother has to give equal time to her baby, and also she has to perform work at office. So this leads to a competing role, and in case of the role strain, it is a pressure which is caused by the non-fulfillment of societal expectation. If a student is good in attendance but he is not good in responding questions in a classroom, this leads to a pressure which called role strain. So it is actually the non-fulfillment of the societal expectation, because societal expectation is too high from an individual having the single role. Then societal implication. In case of the role conflict, it actually reflects the societal expectation and norms, but in case of role strain, it reflects role specific pressure and norms. Because in case of the role strain, there is only one single specific role which he has to perform. Now, example the parent worker conflict. An individual, we can say that, who are married, who has children, and they are also worker. So in that case, there is a clash between the parental duties and jobs. Then another example, student athlete conflict. Clash between student activities and sports practices. These are also could be the example of the role conflict. Doctor patient conflict. For example, a close family member has a close family member, he became a patient. So in that case, it leads to a clash between doctor, and also as a doctor his professional duty, and as a personal role as a family member. So this leads to a role conflict. In case of the role strain, for example, the college student role strain, the expectation from student is he has to excel in academics. Also, he has to participate in multiple club. He has to submit an assignment at time, and he should be attentive in class. So this leads to a college student role strain. Then another teacher role strain. Teacher expectation, for example, someone who is teacher, this is a single status, but the different roles and expectations are that teacher has to give personalized attention to each and every student, and also she or he has to cover the curriculum within a limited time. So this leads to a role strain. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your questions in the comment section below, and like, share and subscribe our channel for latest lectures. Thank you.